My name's Wilmo, and welcome back. And today we're talking about the massive PlayStation 5 Pro hemorrhoid that I have on my asshole as we currently speak. And that is a hemorrhoid that a lot of people have. And that is why I'm making this video, is because I wanted to talk to you guys about ways to fix that hemorrhoid, and that is why I'm making this video. I've already said that, but point is PS5 Pro is like a massive scam, basically. I don't know how else to say it. It's a massive scam. The mic is not, the YouTube's not gonna like that, but it's a massive scam. And yeah, it was announced just like a couple of days ago at this point. A lot of people have made a ton of videos about it, and I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring for it, while also trying a somewhat new way of recording these types of videos. And to be honest, it was agonizing to set up, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. I'm hoping it'll work out, so we'll see. But anyway, so the PS5 Pro, no one is questioning if it's an upgrade or not. It's definitely an upgrade, like on paper, by numbers, spec-wise, compared to the base model of the PS5, it's absolutely an upgrade. But, is it a $700 upgrade? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it is. I don't think it is a $700 upgrade. Actually, it's more like around $810, like $800 if you want, like, you know, the disk drive and the little stand. You know, if you have a PS5 and you remember opening it and bam, it's got a stand. So you could stand it up, you know, vertically. Not with the PS5 Pro, though. If you want to do that, get fucked, is what PlayStation says. If you can't, you know, shill out the additional money to do that, which is like an additional like $100, I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure about that, but why else would it cost $700 for the normal model and then $810 for like after tax plus the disk drive plus the plastic base, which is literally what it is. It's just like a little piece of plastic that keeps the PlayStation standing up. With the original PlayStation, it just came with that. They probably have a warehouse filled with these things that they could just throw in the box, and yet they're not going to. So the one thing that is better than the base PS5 is the CPU is just a little faster. It processes things just a little faster. It's got what's called spectral super resolution, which is a real $5 phrase right there. Basically fancy words for better resolution. It's not like that insane. Like, I feel like it's not as substantial as a jump from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro, and it's hard not to compare that, you know, like that was last gen, and from my understanding, a lot of people were pretty happy about the PS4 Pro. It was a pretty big upgrade, and it didn't really cost as much. And the idea is you're supposed to maybe be able to take your PS5 and trade it into like GameStop or something like that. Problem is let me tell you a story about GameStop. Everyone, let's gather around the campfire of shit here and just tell each other these here stories. And I'm sure everyone has a GameStop horror story, because who doesn't? Who plays video games, right? So basically my brother was gonna go trade in his Xbox One for something. I forget what it was. It wasn't like an Xbox Series, I don't think, but he was just going to trade it in. And they pulled out a piece of paper, right? My brother's Xbox was like great looking. It had no like exterior issues, nothing like that. And so, but they pulled out a piece of paper and they turned the Xbox One upside down and did one of these maneuvers. And a nano atom fell out onto the piece of paper, and due to the contrast of the nano atom of the paper, that was not enough to get any money at all. None. Zero. No money at all. That Xbox One was absolutely worthless in the eyes of GameStop just because of that one nano atom of dust. So, for one, for that, GameStop can go fuck himself. But for two, I just don't, that's just not really an option for everyone. There are people who play their PlayStation 5 every day. You know, they get home from work, they fire it up, and they play it. Of course, it's going to get a little dusty after a while. And so it's completely unreasonable to expect it to be completely dust-free. And therefore, for that reason, I imagine GameStop will be doing that. Now, maybe just the dude at our specific GameStop was a dick, because I don't think I've ever heard anyone have that issue before, ever. So, maybe that was just our GameStop thing. I don't know. Either way, it was super, super scummy, super shitty. So, it also has a better GPU than the original, which is where that super resolution and stuff like that comes from. The side-by-side differences from the original PlayStation 5 to the PS5 Pro are super minute. Very minute. If Editing Will remembers, the differences aren't that crazy. I've seen them side by side, and obviously there is an argument to be made that it'll look better than it will on like a live stream or a YouTube video, which is kind of where Sony, aired these sorts of things. So it'll almost certainly look better in real life. There's no doubt about that, but it's not... I just don't think it's going to be a $700 or $800 difference, really, or worth that difference, I just... And again, the base model of the PS4 or the PS5 Pro doesn't even come with a disc drive or a stand, which is just ridiculous. Like, if you're gonna make us spend $700 for these, upgrades, which, I mean, they are upgrades, but they're just not worth that in their own right, then throw in the disc drive, and the piece of plastic is essentially what it is. It's literally just a piece of plastic. It does swivel, like there is some tech that goes into it, but, well, not really tech even, it's just like, it's super simple. They probably have millions of these. Anyway, I'm just, as you could tell, I'm very disgruntled with PlayStation right now. It's been a real bad time to be a PlayStation fan. They've been taking a lot of L's recently. But that goes back to a whole bigger thing that I actually really wanted to make this video about as well. And that is, this generation of consoles really hasn't been that good anyway. Like, it just hasn't been. It hasn't been like the jump from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4 was wild. Like, it was crazy to me. And don't get me wrong, there is some really insane looking games on the PS5. Alan Wake 2 is one of the best looking games I've ever played. Final Fantasy 16, that's a great looking game. Demon Souls, that's an amazing looking game. What else? Silent Hill, The Short Message. I think those all look incredible. But the thing is the jump from the PS4 to the PS5 isn't necessarily... I mean, it's been crazy for what few examples there are. There just hasn't been that many examples, and we're really running kind of towards the end of the PS5, Xbox Series generation end, and there really just hasn't been that much that has kind of shown this stuff off. But I don't know. Maybe I just live under a rock, but it just seems like this generation, at least for me, hasn't been as much of a banger as the 360/PS3 generation. And I guess the Wii and Wii U, if you want to count those too, in that kind of bubble. Nintendo kind of does their own thing, it seems to me. But anyway, And here's the thing, what's wild to me about the PS5 Pro and its price is people have tried to say that, well, actually, it's a enthusiast console. Well, that's great, but here's the thing. No one is questioning if you're an enthusiast. If that's the case, though, you're not a financially intelligent enthusiast. Okay? Like, and I guess the argument could be made that enthusiast and finances don't necessarily go together. And I'm one to talk. I'm horrible with money. But I'm smart enough with money to know that the PS5 Pro, for someone that already has a PS5, isn't worth it. It just isn't worth it. I mean, for that, I can literally get a whole new... What the fuck is on my face right now? Anyway, sorry about that. Wow. I can literally get a whole new graphics card for my PC and get way more versatility out of that. It could help me create videos. It could help me do a lot of things. A lot more things than a PS5 could for the same price. Even cheaper in some cases. You could get pre-built PCs. You can get laptops. I mean, fuck, you can even get the Steam Deck if you want to do that. Like, there's just so many better things you could get instead of the PS5 Pro. Hell, if you don't have a PlayStation and you just have like 700 Dolans lying around, fine, get the PS5 Pro. But if you already have a PS5, why do that? You know, why go from the PS5 to PS5 Pro when the difference really isn't that much, and it's just not worth it, you know? It's just really not worth it, at least in my humble opinion, okay? Humble opinion. Yeah, so, and mind you, the original version of the PlayStation did have a disc drive unless you got the digital version. But the thing is this isn't, like, the PS5 Pro has a digital version, I guess is what you would call that. No, that's not the digital version. The Pro has the disc drive. The original Pro, the base Pro, doesn't. You have to buy a separate disc drive. So, there isn't two versions of the PS5 Pro. I'm tripping here, okay? There's not two versions of the PS5 Pro. There's one, but that one doesn't come with the disc drive. You have to buy it separately. How stupid does that sound? That's stupid. That's dumb. That is the dumbest shit. So yeah, and by the way, with this Pro model coming out, still no backwards compatibility. I cannot take my PlayStation 3 game. I cannot take Silent Hill Downpour back there for the PS3 and put it in my PS5 and play it. No, I still can't do that. Can't do it with PS2, can't do it with PS1. And to an extent, I kind of get why you can't do it with the PS1 and PS2, because they're different discs, I guess. But the PS3 is a Blu-ray disc. Why can't that happen? Like, I don't get that. Honestly, if the PS5 Pro released for a $700, $800 price tag, and it had the disc drive, it had the stand, it had the backwards compatibility, I could totally see that, and all the other upgrades, I could totally see that as a worthwhile upgrade for some. And I would consider that actually a worthwhile upgrade. Unfortunately, none of that is the case. None of that is the case, basically. Well, actually, most of that is the case, except for the no backwards compatibility. But still, and it came out at such a weird time. Like, because the PS5, like I said earlier, the PS5 is close to the end of its life cycle. Why, and enthusiasts, here's my question to you, why not just wait for the PS6? It's right around. I give it like 3 or 4 more years tops, and then we'll see the PS6. So why not just wait for that? You know, like at that point, it just, I don't know. It's bizarre to me. And with the PlayStation 5 Pro coming out, I've seen articles say that it's kind of like the death of physical games. And if that's the case, then I will probably stop playing console games altogether and just keep going with my PC, because I love physical games. And what will end up happening is I will get I'll get a game first on PC, play it on the channel. If I like it enough, then I'll get the physical copy on PlayStation. Again, not the most financially intelligent of things, so I realize it's very hypocritical of me to say it wouldn't be financially intelligent to get the Pro if you already have the PS5, but that is a little different. That'll set me back, 80 at most, $80 at most. Also, I just woke up, so I'm trying to hype myself up, which is why I guess I just didn't get my eyes cleaned enough. So very sorry about that. But yeah, if that should ever happen, then yeah, I will not be playing console games anymore. I will absolutely just mainly switch to PC, because right now I play everything. I play PlayStation, PC, there's stuff on PlayStation that the PC doesn't have yet. Granted, that number is getting smaller, but still. Mind you, mark whatever day this is without a Bloodborne anything at all for Bloodborne. So there's no, at least at the time of recording, there is no remaster, there's no PC port. The only reason Bloodborne at all is a thing, or not a thing, is because, it is being able to be, it is able to emulate on PC for PS4, which is crazy. But it's really sad that the community had to basically force that to happen. I mean, it's awesome that they did, but I feel like it should just have a nice PC port or something like that. In an ideal world, we would have that, but sadly, there's just no sign of that. So yeah, the physical, to loop back around the physical games, I've seen a lot of articles say, this is the death of physical games. I will say, if that is the case, which I don't agree, I'm pretty sure that's just some fear-mongering, my friends, some real fear-mongering, then, yeah, that would suck. That would really suck. I would probably never get another console again. I would just keep upgrading my PC at this point. And another thing I wanted to mention as well before I wrap this video up is that Sony had released a statement earlier saying that Sony had no IPs, which is bullshit. Sony has a shit ton of IPs for Sony, for PlayStation. They just choose to not do anything with them. Like Bloodborne, for example, FromSoft, they just have a really a hate boner for them. They really do. There's just no other way of turning around. They just hate FromSoft for some reason. I don't know why. It just is the way it is, okay? Man, I don't know. The PS5 Pro is a serious disappointment. It's a disappointment to this. It's a nice little period to put on the shit show that has been kind of, I wouldn't say shit show, but just kind of mid for the generation, this generation of games has been just, well, not games, just consoles and stuff has been just pretty mid, honestly. And also, just a little other side note, $700, $700 to $800, however much, it's in that ballpark. For that to be for a console I can't even change the wallpaper on is bullshit. Okay? It's dumb. It's stupid. What the fuck? I know it's a small thing that, actually, I'm not going to say not many people care about, because people do care about it. I've seen a ton of people complain about that. But yeah, in the PS5, you can't even change your wallpaper, which is stupid. Like, that's always just been... Like, it's halfway through this generation at this point, and an update hasn't happened to where we can. And I have a funny feeling it might not ever happen. I hope I'm eating my words there, but the PS4, the PS Vita, the PS3, they all had, like, crazy custom... Fuck, even the PSP had, like, just really nice customization options. But not for the PS5, sadly, which is super lame. It's why I don't think I can ever justify... It's just why I can't justify spending nearly $800 or around there. I've heard some people say it's like $810, $700, but in other areas in the world, it's like very, very vastly different. Even up to like 1,000 USD, which is insane. Insane. PlayStation, what the fuck? Like, what kind of world do you think we live in? Do you think we're not in an economic crisis? Like, what in the world? Because I think the whole world really is, to be honest. Just my take, I guess, just my view, I guess. I feel like the whole world kind of is suffering a good bit financially right now, and I'm broke. I can't do $700-800 for a console that really isn't even that. It isn't worth it. It just isn't. So yeah. I also did want to mention, and I know I already mentioned it, but I did want to loop back around because the ADHD fucks my everything up. But I wanted to loop back around on this and say that it's just so dumb that Sony is like, we don't have any IPs. No, what do you mean we don't have any IPs? You do. You have IPs. I mean, hell, Final Fantasy 16 was a PlayStation exclusive for a while until recently, which I'm thinking about making a video on the Final Fantasy 16 demo that's on PC, because I think it's kind of cool that it's coming to PC, and I think it's kind of a small PlayStation W. Look, you really gotta search for these W's where you can for PlayStation, because it's just been a shit show for them. And honestly, the same can kind of be said for Xbox too. Really, the only one that doesn't seem to be having as much in the way of issues is Nintendo, and honestly, that's not entirely true, because Nintendo is still having their own set of issues, just it's mainly it's a bit different, it feels, you know. For them, it's mainly just suing everyone that's the issue, and copywriting everyone, and still not putting out games on the Switch that I feel like were on previous Nintendo consoles that could easily be on Switch, but isn't. That's a small issue, but for the most part, the Switch has been, like, just... I think it's done pretty well. So yeah, that's really it for this video. I just wanted to talk about the PlayStation... Well, really just rant about the PlayStation 5 Pro, because this shit just really pisses me off, and I feel like it's a weird period to the just already mid-generation it has been for the Xbox and PlayStation. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share with your pals, help people discover Wilmo today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.